All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man, Jay. We're going to talk about the iPhone 16e today. This is an interesting phone, and I think it is for someone, but I'm just very picky about who I could recommend this to. But nonetheless, my initial thoughts on this phone before I had it, I was like, hey, the price is too high. And folks, for what it's worth, I still think the price is too high. So we'll move past that, and I'll kind of touch on some high points with this phone. Because this is the 16e, and Apple, our quote said, this completes our 16 lineup. But let's start with what I think is probably an important factor on this phone is the battery life. The battery life on here is actually, oh, and by the way, this video is being recorded with the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So the battery life on here, folks, it's gonna be great for a lot of people. I've been using this for tons of social media, responding to emails, things like that. Even done a lot of gaming on it as well. Minor gaming. You can see I have some games installed here. But I will say that this phone's battery life, when given to the right person, they'll be able to go 4 days minimum, depending on who that person is. If you're a light user, or you just get text every now and then, you don't do any kind of heavy gaming, you don't take a lot of video, you'll be able to go 5 days probably, possibly, because this phone is lasting me over 3 to 4 days. And I think that this is gonna be a hit to a lot of people when it comes to battery life. And the reason being is because it doesn't have a high resolution display. And I have mine customized for the dark mode, as you can see here. I think this phone is a hit when it comes to battery. It really is. There's no getting around it. That is like probably one of the best highlights of this phone is the battery life. Because Apple is saying this is their budget friend. They didn't technically quote. Did they quote and say this was their budget friendly phone? I don't think so. But in the tech world, the lowest price phone is typically considered the budget friendly phone, I guess. So this phone coming in at the price it's coming in at, stepping away, the battery is just so good. It's really good. It has the A18 chip. It also has Apple's new C1 modem. I haven't put the modem to the test yet because I haven't swapped my number to this phone yet. But I've used it just like any other phone. FaceTime, you can still do phone calls. I don't need a SIM card in here to do all these things. And I've done it just hands down like any other phone. So it in fact has been good. You can pair your number to the iPhone, and it'll just ring on a. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. So, yeah, battery life is great, but usage for this, the software and everything, folks, it is the A18 processor inside of here, coupled with Apple's latest software. This is going to be a great experience. You're going to get an Apple experience. I don't know what you're expecting, but you're going to get an Apple experience. Now, Another high point for what it is are the cameras. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab something here. Let's grab this CarMax thing here. And I'm going to show you the zoom. Now it has a 2x zoom and a 10x digital zoom. So if you want to telephoto lens or a wide angle lens, you need to look somewhere else. This phone doesn't have it. Unless you have long enough arms, you will be able to vlog with it if you plan to hold it, or you can get one of those extenders. If you don't want to get a wide angle, if you don't need the wide angle, or you don't want to spend more to get one of their iPhones with a wide angle, get one of those selfie stick extenders, and you can do the same thing everybody else is doing. So, 2x zoom. The photo is absolutely clear. Digital zoom, 10x, folks, is still really clear for what it is. This is a good set of cameras. I cannot knock them. They are great, and it has all the things that a person could possibly want in a camera for who's buying in this price range, because a lot of people start with price range. That's what they're looking at. They're looking at price range, and they want an iPhone. So, yeah, video is on point. Video is on point, folks. 4K 60, HDR, everything is still there. It's still a great iPhone. This has a kind of a dual mode camera. But it's a 48 megapixel camera. So you got the little small telephoto with the 2X, but then you got the regular 1X lens. It's a good set of cameras, folks. In my initial video that I did, I shot video, I showed you photos. The camera is good, man. I cannot knock the battery life. I cannot knock the camera. I cannot knock the software. it's just there. And I cannot knock the performance. So you've got, now one thing I did notice is when you try to take a portrait video, it says no person detected. It only wants you to take pictures of people with the portrait mode. But if you go over to regular photo and you get close enough to something, you will in fact get some beautiful portrait or bokeh effect photos. That's not really a thing. So you have panel, portrait for regular photo, video up to 4K 60, slow-mo and time-lapse. You've got everything that a person could want in a freaking camera, and an iPhone, I should say, and it's performing at top-level performance. It's actually really, really solid. So again, you check phenomenal battery, really good cameras, excellent software, and the performance, hands down, you're getting some of the best. Apple knows how to do performance or hardware and software, linking them together to give you the best performance, right? So the screen is still 60 hertz. This is something that people should, we really need to really get onto Apple harder for this, because this screen is 60 hertz. You've got other phones that cost a fraction of the cost that are at least 90 hertz, and some are 120 hertz. This phone, folks, should have a 120 hertz display. No ifs, ands, or buts. Where we're at with Apple, with all this intelligence and all this stuff they're offering, they don't even have on most of the phones yet. It's not working properly. This should have this should have, okay, not sure. This should have, I started talking about the Apple Intelligence and stuff like that. And I need to steps here. But this should have a 120 hertz display. Period. I think it should. No ifs, ands, or buts. There's no reason why this phone, starting at $600 with no incentives or anything, for 128 gigs at that, you know, if you're going to give two options, give a 256 gig and a 512 gig. Don't give 128 gig. Just don't do it. There's no reason for it. The memory options starting at 128 for the $600, I think it's a fail when it comes to Apple, because people say that Apple is they're leading the industry. Well, Apple's not leading the industry by starting their phones off at 128 gigs. For the pricing, it just doesn't fit. It does not fit. It just doesn't. So the 128 gig option, that should be obsolete for Apple phones because they charge a premium price. Yeah. Now, another thing is it has regular old wireless charging. It does. It has regular old wireless charging, and I think that's a fail with Apple. They still haven't gotten on. At least they made it Type-C. At least that's a plus. But they should have done something if they weren't going to do MagSafe. It doesn't have MagSafe. That's just another thing. Not having MagSafe it's just weird at this point. Oh, you got it. You got it with a case, though. That's how you're going to get your MagSafe with these phones, is through the case. And it's not really a big deal, but it is a big deal for people that want to go caseless. I'm team no case. So no MagSafe for me, just wireless charging if I were to decide to want to wireless to charge the phone. I don't think that's right. That's just me. So you got no MagSafe, you got mediocre, really weak wireless charging, you got a 60 hertz display, and you also have no dynamic island. Why did you make this phone in the 16 lineup with no dynamic island? I don't get it. Just don't do it, man. Bring it up and make it at least look like the other devices. Yeah. No MagSafe, no dynamic island, mediocre charging. Now, another thing is 2 colors. What the heck were they thinking, man? Why only 2 colors? But now they're selling you all these colorful cases with MagSafe. Oh, you can buy a case for $50, your color, your choice, or whatever. Yeah, but that's an additional cost to the phone just to get MagSafe. They're basically selling MagSafe to you. Not right, but it is what it is. And then the fact that there's no charging brick, that's super lame, folks. That's just lame on every end of the spectrum. Now, while it only comes in 2 colors, it is a nice looking design. Let's be clear, this isn't a bad looking design. This is the upgraded version of the SE on the rear, and on the front, you've got the iPhone 15, or the kind with the notch area, the cutout at the top. You do have Face ID and all those perks. You have all that Apple Pay. You have all those things. It's just, you see how it's a 50-50? And someone, you can call out even more things about what's missing and what's wrong with it. You definitely could do it. But I don't think this is a bad phone by any means. I just think that for what it's missing, it's pretty interesting. It's an interesting device. You're going to get a great experience. Like I said, you're going to get, and even the screen with it being 60 hertz, folks, the quality of the screen is beautiful. Fire up a video. This is a beautiful screen. It is what it is. It's a 6.1 inch display. It's a good looking display. You shouldn't be disappointed with this looking at video on here, watching movies. It's good. And the speakers on here are pretty doggone good. I could have gotten that car. Someone was asking me, well, how do you get the price so low? Well, folks, it's very simple. I had a lot of referral credits, which is money now. So I had a lot of money. Those are some loud speakers, man. So to me, it's cut right down the middle. This is the 50-50 review because 50% of the phone is missing and the other 50 is here, and the price still is being charged at the 100%. I don't get it, but I can tell you, this phone is definitely a solid phone for what it is. Now, who would buy this? A person who has an extremely old iPhone. And there's people out there that still have 4S's and 4s and 5s, even 6s. There's a lot of those people out there. There's a lot of them out there. So with that being said, man, I got to tell you, I'm not mad at Apple for this one. I just don't think it should be labeled as the 16E. Yeah, the 16 lineup is great. The 16 lineup is on point. I just don't understand why they took so much away and still charged a premium price. I guess it's called Apple tax. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care.